Today's topic is net neutrality. As you know, that net neutrality is a very controversial topic that has been in the news for the last several years. In this lecture, I'm going to talk about the fundamental concepts of net neutrality and open internet. I will also discuss the implications of net neutrality. Finally, the pros and cons of net neutrality will be explained. Suppose you're watching your favorite video on YouTube, when you suddenly notice that the ISP is slowing down the transmission of data. As an example, a violation of net neutrality was Comcast deliberately slowing the upload or download speeds of peer-to-peer file sharing applications. These kind of problems may occur if there is no net neutrality. This lecture highlights what net neutrality is and how it would affect us as internet users on a daily basis. Net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers and governments should treat all data on the internet equally, not discriminating or charging differentially by user, content, site, platform, application, type of attached equipment, or mode of communication. The term was first coined by Columbia University media law professor Tim Wu in 2003 as an extension of the long-standing concept of a common carrier. Now let us discuss some of the implications of net neutrality. Internet service providers won't be able to block any website or data or services as long as they are legal and users will be able to access it. ISPs cannot be able to throttle any website or data or services. There will be no paid fast lanes. Now let us discuss the concept of open internet, which is closely associated with net neutrality. Open internet is the idea that the full resources of the internet and means to operate on it are easily accessible to all individuals and organizations. This often includes ideas such as net neutrality, open standards, transparency, lack of internet censorship, and low barriers to entry. The concept of open internet is sometimes expressed as an expectation of decentralized technological power and is seen by some as closely related to open source software. Proponents often see net neutrality as an important component of an open internet where policies such as equal treatment of data and open web standards allow those on the internet to easily communicate and conduct business without interference from a third party. A closed internet, on the other hand, refers to the opposite situation in which established persons, corporations, or governments favor certain services or usage. A closed internet may have restricted access to necessary web standards, artificially degrade some services, or explicitly filter out content. Now let us discuss the current scenario. Presently, the internet is indeed neutral. All internet traffic is usually treated equally on a first-come, first-served basis by internet backbone owners. The internet is neutral because it was subject to common carriage laws of telecommunication services. However, internet service providers sometimes throttle or cut off service from customers who use too much data. Now let us discuss some of the arguments in favor of net neutrality. Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of World Wide Web, says, freedom of connection with any application to any party is the fundamental social basis of the internet and now is the basis of the society built on the internet. The internet clearly drives innovation. A neutral internet encourages competition. Neutrality prevents gatekeeping and censorship. It also prevents undue hardship on poor households. Proponents of net neutrality include consumer advocates, human rights organizations, online companies, and some technology companies. Many major internet application companies are advocates of net neutrality. Yahoo, Vonage, eBay, Amazon, Microsoft, Twitter, along with many other organizations, have also taken a stance in support of net neutrality. Net neutrality advocates argue that allowing cable companies the right to demand a toll to guarantee quality or premium delivery would create an exploitative business model based on ISP's position as gatekeepers. Advocates also warn that by charging websites for access, network owners may be able to block competitor websites and services, as well as refuse access to those unable to pay. Proponents argue that allowing for preferential treatment of internet traffic or tiered service would put newer online companies at a disadvantage and slow innovation in online services. Now let us discuss some of the pros of net neutrality. Internet data should be treated equally. ISPs cannot change the download or upload speed depending on what people are accessing. Net neutrality fosters innovation. High bandwidth startups can gain traction. There should be no restrictions on what or how much someone can upload or download, which means there should be no censorship. ISPs that are also cable companies can't block video streaming services, for example, Comcast versus Netflix. Supporters believe that internet service should be like phone service. Phone companies can't make connection worse if they don't approve of person you are calling. Net neutrality protects innovation. If big companies could pay for faster speeds or more bandwidth, startups would be at a disadvantage. Now let us discuss some of the cons of net neutrality. Unfair usage. Some companies require more bandwidth than others. Illegal file sharing consumes a huge amount of network capacity. According to Comcast, 50% of the network traffic is used for illegal sharing of files. Technology advances more quickly than government regulations. A bill written for the future does not account for what new technology may be used. Net neutrality does not fix the fundamental problems of the internet, including slow speeds and broadband access to all. Paying more for better internet access is not necessarily a bad thing. A fast lane for applications that need guaranteed priority is necessary. For example, live video from accident scenes for emergency services. Opponents of net neutrality believe times have changed. Netflix, YouTube clog the pipes with enormous amounts of data. Various internet service providers oppose net neutrality, that includes Verizon, AT&T, and Comcast. National Cable and Telecommunications Association also oppose net neutrality. Now let us discuss some of the historical developments. In May 2010, FCC introduces net neutrality protections that said ISPs could not block websites or impose limits. In August 2010, Eric Schmidt of Google said, "What we mean is that if you have one data type like video, you don't discriminate against one person's video in favor of another. But it's okay to discriminate across different types. So you could prioritize voice over video, and there is general agreement with Verizon and Google on that issue." In January 2011, Verizon files federal lawsuit that overturns order. Federal appeals court strikes down the FCC's rule. In May 2014, FCC released a plan that would have allowed companies like AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon to discriminate internet traffic and create pay-to-play fast lanes. In November 2014, President Obama releases a statement on net neutrality. An open internet is essential to the American economy. Net neutrality was built into the fabric of the internet since its creation, but is also a principle we cannot take for granted. No blocking, throttling, increased transparency, no paid prioritization. In February 2015, FCC votes in favor of a strong net neutrality rule to keep the internet open and free. Net neutrality rules proposed by FCC will be applicable to mobile networks for the first time in 2015. In June 2015, European Union supports net neutrality with a caveat. It will allow fast lanes for specialized services like IPTV. That brings to the conclusion of our lecture today. The internet was designed to be free and open. Net neutrality is important. Small businesses and startups support it. Everyday citizens support it. Internet service providers typically oppose it. ISPs have challenged FCC over its regulations on net neutrality. Opponents of net neutrality believe that it will reduce investments and innovations for internet infrastructure and broadband access technologies. So, what side are you on? Thank you for watching this video.